I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go, another edition of the Daily Punch Drop. It is Thursday, May 22nd. Hello, kiddos. How's everybody doing today on this fine Thursday? We got a jam-packed show for you today. We got M's and Astros starting their very important, and I know the Astros aren't what the Astros once were, but a very important four-game series coming up later. And it's the return of Mr. George Kirby on the mound today for the Mariners. We'll get into that coming up here in a few minutes. Mike Garafolo will join us as he always does every single Thursday, coming up in about 10 minutes or so. Brad Adam, WIP Sports, bottom of the hour. He's in Houston sweating his sack off, eating banana bread. You'll just have to trust me on that one and understand where that show and that episode is going to go. Mitchy the Kid is back. Episode 3 with myself and Mitch Unfiltered. And a reminder, we play the Mitchy the Kid segment in the Daily Puck Drop DPD Live. Well, I like that. I never even really thought about that. DPD Live. It's like TRL Live. But once the show is over, today at 11:30, it goes away. We do not include it in the Daily Puck Drop, both audio and video. It is then strictly just for the podcast for Puck's Posse members. Go to pucksports.com, sign up today and join. Click the QR code that's on your screen if you're streaming the show. Also, if you'd like to support Mitch, go to mitchunfiltered.com and become a patron. So you can watch and listen to it both ways. If you're already a Mitch Unfiltered subscriber, patron, you have access to it. If you're not a subscriber to either, just pick one. It does not really matter. All right. But again, pucksports.com, sign up, become a Puck's Posse member. You'll get the recap there, or the podcast audio and video once this show is over. But again, we will play it live every single Thursday, Mitchy the Kid and myself. And just transparency for both these guests on Thursdays. And I say this because I don't care. We have to record them in the morning because they have busy schedules. All right. That's what's coming up. And then, of course, Hey, What the Puck to wrap up the show here on a Thursday. And a reminder, this is the last show this week. No show Friday, no show Monday or Tuesday. Off to Bend, Oregon later tonight for a baseball tournament. We don't come back. We don't leave until Tuesday morning. So, again, no show tomorrow. Our apologies. No show Monday, no show Tuesday. I promise you will not miss us. You won't. You need a break. You need a break from this and everything, guaranteed. The Daily Puck Drop, of course, comes every single day inside the Limback Lumber Studios. Contractors, they got you covered. They offer free deliveries, everything from whole house packages, in addition to homeowner DIY projects. They got the largest stock moldings in the Northwest. They are going to greet you with a smile and a handshake, an old school service, because they've been doing it since 1930. So if you like that stuff, you like old school service, you like a company that's almost been around for 100 years, it's still thriving and doing great work in the community around Seattle, give the folks there at Limback Lumber a call, 206-782-3487. Visit them online at limbacklumber.com. Follow on all the social media platforms, by the way. Puck Sports on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky, and Puck_sports on TikTok. And, of course, you can find us up on Facebook. We put all of our video, little small clips promoting the show up there. And, again, as I mentioned before, join the Puck's Posse. Go to pucksports.com where you can find everything there at pucksports.com. And, of course, you can join the Puck's Posse there by signing up for as little as $5 a month. All right, Mike Garafolo will join us coming up in about 10 minutes, talk all things NFL. Proud to announce we just put the finishing touches on it. He is back for another year of covering the NFL with us every single week. And so we'll chat with Garafolo coming up later today. And he may or may not be on a golf course. I don't know. I'm encouraging him to get out and golf a little bit. Get out there. Speaking of golf, hey, if everyone can pay attention, please, and this is only affects me, to the Charles Schwab. If you can, we need to pull for Aaron Rye. We need Aaron Rye to do well this week at the Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth. He's currently 4 shots off the lead. Now I am conflicted on this one because I do not like him because he wears two black gloves, and it's odd. But I still need him to play well. Come on, Aaron Ryan. 1 under right now through 13. All right. What else do we got going on today? Oh, let's get into it. Let's get into the Mariners, huh? They did it again. What a tough, I'll say this about the White Sox, a tough little series there with the White Sox. All right, a tough little series. 6-5 win, 8 games over 500. Now 3.5 games up on Houston before they start their series coming up later today there with the Houston Astros. A lot of good things from this game yesterday. I thought Logan Evans, again, has established himself, and I know it's not a world-beating lineup, but I like Logan Evans. I like what he does. I like his makeup. I like his pitch sequence. There's a lot to like about Logan Evans. And again, that with him to have that in your back pocket, in a situation where you're not going to have a rotation that is fully healthy all year long, and of course we're finding that out. With have Logan Evans and to have Emerson Hancock in there in your back pocket is a good thing for this organization. A really, really good thing. So I thought he had some moments yesterday where he was really good. And, he had a couple of hiccups. He wasn't perfect. Rowdy Tellez, that huge, leadoff single there as they ended up taking that lead in that ball game with Leo Taveras with the 2-run home run, which was the game-winning home run, eventually being the game-winning home run. The performance again by Cal Raleigh hits his 16th home run from the right side. He's got a double from the left side. Cal Raleigh just continues to be the best catcher in baseball. There really is no debate about Cal Raleigh. We talk a lot about Cal Raleigh with Brad Adam today in the show. And again, he's just my favorite player. He's become my favorite player. And I think eventually with Cal Raleigh, he's going to go down as one of the most popular and greatest Mariner players ever. Guaranteed. The way that guy performs. Julio with another 3-run, not another one, but with a 3-run home run. And Brad, and I forgot this until Brad brought it up, at this point last year, he had 2 home runs. He's got 9 now with his 3-run shot there in the first inning. He's been getting it going here the last few weeks. Hasn't yet reached peak Julio moment. It's coming, and it's coming because it always does. Now, we'd like it to start right away, but he got off to a better start this year than he has in the past. But Julio with the 3-run shot, that was just a great first inning just because of the at-bat by J.P. Crawford. He gets down 0-2 early in the count. He ends up battling back, works it full, draws the walk. Polanco then gets the walk, and then bam. And that's, it's walk, hit, or walk, 3-run home run. I mean, that is modern day baseball. And that's what was fun to watch there yesterday. The bullpen, again, solid. Leguizamo did not give up an earned run because of the Dylan Moore error. Carlos Vargas, another solid inning. Andres Munoz, just fantastic, as he has been all season long. Best closer in baseball. Allows a hit there in an inning. And so, again, a great performance there by the bullpen. Now they turn their attention to Houston. We get George Kirby tonight, then Emerson Hancock, then Bryan Woo, and Luis Castillo. And I said this yesterday with Jim when he was on. I fight the urge with this team, and I got a buddy, my buddy Matt. Shout out, Matt. He listens, and he doesn't watch, but he listens. And he doesn't live here, lives in Delaware. Shout out, Matt. And he's always texting me because he is a Phillies fan, so he's always negative all the time. But then he's like, hey, man, I just really love – he's a Mariners fan too, but I really love this team. Really love this team. He's always giving me shit about it. He used to be too negative about the team. But there is a lot to like about the Seattle Mariners for sure. And they're just playing great baseball, and they just keep on winning. You know what? You know who keeps – oh, leave it down. I see him in the green room. Bring it back down, sir. Bring it back down. We're going to talk NFL every single week with my favorite reporter, NFL Network Zone. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike Garafolo from the NFL Network, all brought to you by Hartley & Hartley Insurance, your trusted family-owned insurance experts in the Puget Sound area since 1978. Honesty, fairness, integrity. Contact Jamie Hartley at 253-565-8700. Also, Zogs on Fox Island, perfect spot to grab a cold beer, hang out with friends, and catch the game. Check out Zogs on Facebook and Instagram.
You know another Phillies fan?
I gotta know two other Phillies fans. One is a little bit more, I would say, West Coast in their nature, how they root, just kind of even keel, not crazy over the top.
Mm-hmm.
My other Philly fan, my buddy Matt, he is your stereotypical Philly fan, like out of control, loud.
Like Matt's gonna be pissed if they don't win today.
Yes,
and take 3 of 4, but they don't complete the sweep. He's gonna be pissed.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. And then we'll be like, I don't know, something's got to be done with the manager.
Shit,
that's what he is. He is such a huge WIP fan back in the day. Like he and his buddies, they would go to the Wing Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they would go. That was their thing. They loved that.
What years are we talking about?
Oh, God. Probably before the 2000s, late mid 90s, probably mid to late 90s.
I started working there in 2000, so I worked from 2000 to 04 at IP.
How many? So you covered 4. Was there? You did it every year back then for people who don't know. Yeah,
I did. Matter of fact, one of my first shifts was to do the overnight from the penalty box at. Was it? No, it would have been the Spectrum. I don't think
it might have been. Yeah.
No, I mean, it was by that point. No, it's not like they held it. It was the First Union Center or whatever it was called at the time. First Union Center, Wachovia. They just changed the name again. Wells Fargo, and now whatever we're going to call it now. But there was one year where Big Daddy Graham, rest in peace, one of the personalities, the overnight guy at WIP, he came in. All right, so hold on, back up, because you're asking me to explain the Wing Bowl to people.
Yeah, because I want you to, before you go there, explain to our listeners, our audience out here, what it is, because they probably have no idea what it is.
So it started with Al Morganti, I believe was the one who had the idea of, let's have a hot dog eating contest, and we'll do it the Friday before the Super Bowl as a radio promotion. And because the Eagles never make the Super Bowl, and we've got nothing going on in January because they're just a terrible team. Now you think, look back and laugh. And then it turned at some point it turned to wings, and then it got bigger, and they did it at the Electric Factory, which was a small concert venue. Decent sized concert venue. And then it eventually made its way. I don't think it was ever the Spectrum. Now that I say that, it may have just been the newer arena, which was the Core State Center at the time. And the place was sold out. I mean, it sold out. It was a free event, but they would lock the doors. You couldn't get in. They were tailgating, and each wing contestant would have to complete an eating challenge to get into the event. So they would come to the weeks leading up, come to the radio studio, and they would eat. I'll eat this amount of watermelon or whatever. And that would get them in. And Al would have to vote on, you got to eat more, and then you have to complete the challenge or whatever, and then you get in. And then each guy or gal had an entourage that often included strippers. They were sponsored by Club Risque or cheerleaders or all the, and so they'd have this entourage of strippers. And I mean, there'd be chicks making out in the stands, flashing everybody, beers everywhere. They're coming, and some guys would be the villains, and they would come in, they'd throw beers at them while they're coming in and parading around. I mean, the place was packed. And Big Daddy Graham comes in one year. He's delivering the ceremonial first wing, which was on a live chicken. So he comes in with a cage, and he runs in, and his ass is hanging out of this like Roman Trojan type thing. And nobody wanted to see Big Daddy's ass. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. He comes around and he drops the cage on the table up by the thing. So Angelo Cataldi, the host of the show, is now somebody let the because he forgot to let the chicken out, and he had to run off, butt cheeks flapping while he's running off. And somebody opened the cage, and I realized I'm the closest one to the cage. 20,000 people want to see, and I couldn't figure out how to open the damn cage. And they're just, Garafolo, what are you doing over there? Open the cage. I don't know, man. I've never opened a chicken cage in my life. I have no idea how this thing opens, and I failed. I wanted to let the chicken. 20,000 people would have applauded me opening the damn cage, and I couldn't deliver on the spot.
20,000, and they still do it today, right?
No. They stopped it a couple years ago. So the Eagles.
It got a little too much.
Well, I covered the first one because I had left WIP. I was at the Star Ledger covering the Giants, and I didn't. We only traveled. Trying to remember who traveled. I didn't get to travel to the Super Bowl, so I needed stuff to write that week. So the Eagles are in the game, and I said, "Let me go cover the first wing ball where the Eagles are in the Super Bowl," and it was just utter chaos. I mean, the team hadn't made the Super Bowl since 1980. They lost to the Patriots, but it was. I remember I covered the night before because again I had nothing to do that week. I covered a game. The things you used to do to just it was a Rutgers women's, maybe women's hoops.
Okay,
it was in Hartford, Connecticut. Covered the game, drove from Hartford to Philly. I'm living in North Jersey at the time, so I just basically passed my apartment. It was just like, see ya. All the way to Philly. Got there at like 1 a.m, maybe even 2. Fell asleep for 2 hours. Got up, went to the wing bowl, started working on my story there. They go to a strip club, all the radio people afterward to go hang out. And these are all the people I hadn't seen. I used to work with. Yeah, let me go work. So I go hang out with them at the club while I'm trying to work at the club, mind you, on the laptop. Oh, it was. And I go, you know what? I don't have to file my story until 7:00 tonight. I'm going home to my parents' house. So I went to my parents' house, fell asleep for like 5 hours, woke up, wrote the story, filed it.
Yeah. There's a documentary on Netflix, I believe.
I haven't seen it.
About the wing bowl. So if you haven't, if you're wondering like what kind of debauchery was sports radio like in Philadelphia in its heyday, you have to go watch this thing because I mean there's nothing else like it.
They called them wingettes. That's where the strippers and then sometimes not strippers, sometimes not. Sometimes these women that wanted to come in bikinis and be wingettes. They were called. Oh. So you would have to get in as a wingette too. I don't know.
Can't do that today.
Well, I think Angelo said.
There's just
that the woke, not woke, I want to say work. What's the culture that he used or whatever it was, not woke, but political correctness or whatever killed the wing ball. He said. So,
sure. Yeah. Well, good memories. There's the wing ball. Good memories right there. Well, the Eagles are back in the news. How about this transition? We go wing bowl Eagles. Well,
I mentioned the tush a couple minutes ago.
You did. So they didn't ban it. It was close. There was some thought that it was going to get banned, but then ultimately it does not get banned. So there's that. Then there's the leaked inside the meetings with Jeffrey Lurie and just all that that's going on. Ultimately, they did not ban it. Feels like it's getting closer to it. And we've talked about this. Like, I don't know. Yes, does it look like a football play? Not necessarily, but I don't know. I mean, why are people so upset? Because they can't stop it?
Yes. Yeah, and they're good at it.
Make it illegal?
Now, you remember, because I compare it to the Wildcat. When the Wildcat came out, and Ian's like, that's a football play. I'm like, yeah, but it was different than you were. Because Ian's, as I said on the air the other day, like, some of us aren't buying the notion that it's a health and safety issue, and others, like Ian Rappaport, are saying that, yes, it is, and won it out of the game. And one of his statements has been that it doesn't look like a football play. And I said, well, neither does the Wildcat. He's like, yes, it does. I was like, well, not the traditional way that you're used to watch, But the thing with the Wildcat was everybody else copied it and everybody else was as successful at it. And then they figured out how to do it. And so you don't see as much of it now. The Eagles have done a good job. The Eagles are good. Like, the offensive line is good. Well, the quarterback is strong. They have done a good job of repping it. It's a tempo thing. You get up. The way that they do it from a tempo standpoint is what teams have trouble mimicking, because they'll rush up to the line, boom, snap the ball and go. Right. Well, now they rush up to the line and don't snap the ball, and now you got linebackers toppling over the top. So they've done a great job of, from a cadence standpoint, schematic standpoint, they're just doing it incredibly well. I thought the line from Jerry Jones about, sometimes I have to, am I really against the tush push, or do I just want to stop the Eagles? And he was asked about it and said, well, which one is it? He says, I don't know. I flip-flop. That's definitely, of the 22 votes to ban the play, no way all 22 were like, we got to get it out of the game for health and safety reasons. A huge chunk of them were, we got to stop this team because they're better than anybody else.
Right. I mean, I honestly, I think it's 100% that. I think that's the heart of the issue. I just think they do it better than anyone, so we want to ban a play. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous.
Which Jeffrey Lurie talked about his dreams. I had different ones.
What did he say? It's a kid's wet dream. I mean, what is he doing?
I mean, some of my memories are fuzzy, but I don't think I was thinking about
how. I mean, you talked to
Troy
people.
Vincent,
How testy did it get inside? It sounds like it got real testy with him. And was it Jed York?
Yeah, but it sounded like it got testier in March when the coaches were involved. Because the coaches are the ones that got to stop this thing, right? The owners are like, now you go stop it, right? Like, so the coaches are the ones that seem like it really got heated.
I'm going to read it. I'll read it. You don't have to. So toward the end of the speech, when he was making his plea not to ban it, he made the analogy telling the room, regardless of whether the play was banned, it was a win-win for the Eagles, adding that it was like a wet dream for a teenage boy. I'm in. I mean, yeah, I'm all.
And then
he
was admonished afterward by Troy Vincent. Is that what I also saw?
Troy
reported,
Vincent, yes, got angry at him.
Now, and everybody's like, well, Troy's a former Eagle. Yeah, but Troy was also the one that was a driving force in the or I don't even want to call it a suspension. Big Dom, when he was relegated to being upstairs.
Yeah.
And I know that didn't go over well with the Eagles. So the Troy Vincent's relationship with the Eagles is not like, oh yeah, former cornerback. He might have, there's been a couple of bumps in the road the last couple of years.
Yeah. And Vincent's point was you can't make this comment in front of women. We got women in the meeting, and that's why he was upset. And then
which I understand. Yeah.
I get it. But Lori, I mean, according to all your guys' reportings, he went after Goodell. He was going after Vincent, going after everyone. And I get it. I would be the same way. I'd be very defensive about it. Like, you guys, we're not banning this because they haven't shown us any real evidence.
Yeah. But then they countered it with Jason Kelce, as I likened it to a WWE type. You hear the glass crash and that's Jason Kelce. By God, that's Jason Kelce's music. Yeah. Which he was like, I don't care either way. Of course he does, but he's trying to play it down the middle and make it seem like he's not an advocate for the because he's in the media now and he's supposed to be objective to a certain degree. His brother plays for the Chiefs. They use it's like he's got to play it down the middle, but there's a reason that he was there. And he made it clear this play does not wreak havoc on my body. The statement from his New Heights podcast was, I would come back tomorrow if I only had to run the tush push 80 times a game. So, yeah.
Well, but eventually it will, right?
I mean, maybe. Yeah. Listen, I was on Anthony Gargano's show in Philly yesterday before the vote came down. He's like, it's a sad day here in Philly. I say, whoa. Hold on. Let's see. I'm not convinced this thing is dead yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not convinced it's definitely going to be dead going forward because it's got to be, if there are no more, Goodell made an inference to the possibility of an injury, right? He said like, well, we'll come back and look at the data next year. And if you get a serious injury next year on the play, then it's going to be whacked. If you don't, the Eagles say, there goes even more lack of data for you. So I can't sit here right now and tell you what's going to happen next March or May.
Brock Purdy got paid. We've been talking about this storyline a lot. A 5-year, $265 million deal. This was probably in terms of the guarantee money and all of that. It's $181 million in guarantees, $53 million average. This is about what we talked about, right? This is where you thought he'd be?
It's actually a little lower from an APY average per year standpoint. I thought he was going to be 55-ish. And I think in the end it was like, Brock, what do we want to do here, right? Do we want to get this done at this number, 53, which is higher than probably Jed York wanted to go? I mean, I think in their head they thought, well, maybe we can get this done in the 40s. He's Mr. Irrelevant. He's your quarterback, right? We talked about it, you and I said from a percentage of the cap standpoint compared to other, he should be in the high 50s into the 60s. He wasn't going to go for that, though. I thought he would be mid 50s. And in the end, he got a couple of wins. He got a no trade clause. He got a cash flow concession. And I say this all the time. At $53 million versus 55 or 57, does your life change? It doesn't. But if you have that flexibility to allow your team to make a couple of additions to win a Super Bowl, will that change your life? That will change your life. So I think Brock Purdy did the right thing. I think he did the smart thing. And now you win a couple Super Bowls, and next time you go try to get a bigger bite at the apple, right? Because then you got even more more distance between you and being Mr. Irrelevant, and more of potentially Super Bowl winning Brock Purdy, consistent performer Brock Purdy, and now you can get even more money down the line.
Caleb Williams' story. Again, never good when Seth Wickersham is crawling around and writing and all this stuff. And I know it wasn't just about Caleb Williams. It was a book about just the quarterback position and all of that. Now, listen, this Caleb Williams story, this is nothing new. The dad and the family not wanting him to play there. I mean, this is Archie Manning. I mean, and they actually pulled it off. Like, does not want to go to San Diego, wants to go to New York. We're going to make it go to New York. What was that first year like, though, for Caleb Williams? I mean, what else can you add to that? I mean, just how dysfunctional was it?
Listen, you have experience with Shane Waldron. I thought that was one of the more curious hires of that, because that was the first, I believe, offensive coordinator that was hired. And Eberflus did it quickly, and I was like, why are we falling all over ourselves to hire? I mean, no offense. I mean, I'm not trying to knock Shane Waldron, but sure. I think the results spoke for themselves in Seattle, and I just didn't think it was a good pairing. Yeah. And I now he's got the opposite. Now he's got Ben Johnson. He's got a direct communicator most of the time, hard driving type of guy. Hard. I mean, not in a negative way, but sure. You're going to perform, and if you don't, you're going to hear him. I'm curious to see how this because this is the opposite end of the spectrum now. So I'm curious to see how this pairing is going to work as well. But yeah, it was. I wouldn't say it was necessarily dysfunctional. I would just say that it wasn't really set up in a lot of ways for Caleb Williams to succeed.
And I think he needs to be coached hard. I mean, I think the perception at USC, he was allowed to kind of do. He's a fabulous talent. I mean, clearly he's number one overall. I mean, his physical tools on the field, you watch him run around and make plays. I mean, it's very few people that have ever played that position can do what he can do. Can he put it all together, from the pocket, all the other stuff that makes you a great quarterback. But, I think Lincoln Riley let him slide and do whatever he wanted to do. And I don't know, did he coach him hard? And it sounds like Ben Johnson will. And maybe I think ultimately at the end of the day, that's gonna be the best thing for Caleb Williams, to get hard coaching.
Listen, he is the epitome of the new generation of not even player, but the new generation of young person, right? And millennials and whatever. I don't think he's a millennial. He may be the next generation, whatever they call them. But and the way that they respond to things and the way that they need to be communicated to. So I still am of the belief that kids are kids and people are people, in the same way that they did things to an extent, the same way that they did things from a parent/coaching perspective years ago should still work today. So yeah, I mean, it's obviously the other end didn't work, and he was in Wickersham's reporting that he was apparently just watching film on his own and doing things on his own. I don't think that's a good recipe for any young quarterback, not even Peyton Manning. I think you need that guidance, so he's certainly going to get it this year.
The passing of Jim Irsay yesterday, 65 years of age, longtime owner of the Colts, took it over for his father. Obviously a history detailed, battle with drugs. And I don't, at this time as we're talking, I don't know if they've ruled what the cause of death was for Jim Irsay.
I would only say that it seemingly was as sudden as you can be. I mean, he's had health issues the last couple of years. But I've yet to hear somebody say, "Oh yeah," and everybody's like completely shocked by the timing of this one.
Okay,
so
the league remembers him how?
Unique individual, troubled individual at times, open, big-hearted individual, a good owner who we taped an interview with Tony Dungy that's going to air later tonight, and I said. In this obit that we have been running since last night in the morning shows today, there's a clip of Jim Irsay saying, "I want the players when they get there on Sunday to realize I've done everything I possibly can to put them in a position to win." I said, "What does that mean to you, Tony?" He said, I said, whether it's financially or whatnot. He says, "No, there was always an open door policy." He told the story of when they played a preseason game up in Seattle, and the players said the new turf, it was the field turf at the time. He said, "Boy, this turf is great. It's much better on our bodies." And he said he immediately ripped out all the old AstroTurf, both at the stadium and at the team facility, and replaced it with that turf. Sometimes owners are not as receptive to that kind of thing. And when Dungy was coach, I didn't get a chance to ask him about this. I was going to, and we ran out of time. When Dungy was coach, he's such a family guy. His emphasis was to his assistant coaches, get your work done and get home to your family. I don't need you hanging around here just to show your face, just to act like you're working harder than you actually are. Sometimes owners want to see that. I mean, I remember years ago, was it Wayne Huizenga that hired Nick Saban? And he said, one Sunday night, a couple of days after I hired him, he's in the facility until 11 o'clock at night. And I knew I hired the right guy. Well, you didn't. Proof is in the pudding there. And two, not necessarily have to be that kind of guy. You need the owner to be in your corner on that kind of stuff. And you need your owner to say, okay, I know this guy's working hard enough and he's doing the best that he possibly can. So, Jim Irsay, I've had a few interactions with Jim Irsay. I interviewed him over the phone back in 2000. I was at USA Today, and Chuck Pagano had just taken his leave for cancer treatment. And I spoke to Irsay for an hour, and I think I asked about 5 questions. Because my man could just go on and on and on and on and on, and you just let him go. That was a bitch to transcribe, but I got it done. He seemed to be well liked by everybody that worked for him. And listen, he had his imperfections. Sure, he was suspended. He paid. We all do, right? Like we all do. And he turned that into advocating for mental health. Yeah. And he certainly did a lot of charitable work as well. So Jim Irsay, I hope you get a good sleep, my man. Rest in peace. All right, my friend. Enjoy this long weekend, Memorial Day, catching up with family and friends, and we'll talk next week. You got it, pal. Be well. See you. There he is, Mike Garafolo, with us every single Thursday talking NFL. All brought to you by, again, he's back for another year, by the way. Brought to you by our good friends at Hartley and Hartley Insurance, your trusted family-owned insurance experts in the Puget Sound area since 1978. They got honesty, fairness, and integrity. Contact Jamie Hartley when he's not playing golf. That's a lot. 253-565-8700. Also, Zogs on Fox Island. Andrew Herzog, see, he's there because he's a man of principle and work ethic. Perfect spot to grab a cold beer, hang out with friends, especially with the summer here. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram. And what a beautiful spot down there in the South End is Zogs on Fox Island. All right. We transition from a little football, little news and notes coming out of the league to get you caught up on baseball. Brad Adam, of course, he joins us every single week. And Brad Adam is one of our favorites. Well, you know what? I mean, we can say he's favorites. We can always say we have our favorites. Brad is one of our favorites. He's in Houston right now. And, of course, Brad is brought to you weekly by John Howie Steak and, of course, Whiskey by John Howie. How much fun they're having. This could be you. Go visit John Howie Steak today. Voted #1 restaurant in Seattle by the readers of Seattle Magazine. Classic steakhouse with the best selection of hand-cut steaks from USDA Prime to Japanese A5 Wagyu. Book your next reservation today at johnhowiesteak.com. This is the Brad Adam Banana Bread Show of Record. This is good. I mean, my God, how Houston, much? Yeah. I had to. When you're in Houston, is Houston known for their banana bread? Bananas and banana bread. Yeah. Hey, why are you going to Houston? Well, food tour. Why? Banana bread. I'll tell you why in a second. Okay. I mean, you just keep eating. I had to reward myself. I'll tell you why. Oh, you had one of those workouts, didn't you? No, not yet. No, I had a tough experience. I'll tell you about it. Okay. Well, hey, you take your time. This is the Brad Adams Show. Brought to you by, of course, John Howie Steak. John Howie Steak, world-renowned, #1 steakhouse in America. They say Seattle, but I say America. It's a classic steakhouse. Best selection of hand-cut steaks from USDA Prime to Japanese A5 Wagyu. That's not a banana bread. That's A5 Wagyu. Hey, all right. It's also known for having the best whiskey selections on the east side. More private selections and the award spirits from John Howie's Wildwood Spirits. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Whiskey by John Howie, which features a global selections of rare and well-done whiskeys with something for everyone, from the curious to the connoisseur.
Whiskey by John Howie welcomes guests 21 years old and up. They offer a speakeasy vibe. That's right, that's exactly what I like.
It's our vibe.
Making it perfect for a place for date night, a quiet night out with friends. Bartenders love talking whiskey, just like Brad and I love talking whiskey as well. And also at Whiskey by John Howie offers a chef-driven menu with fun, elevated bar food and signature items from John Howie Steak.
Oh.
We're going to ask them to put a Brad Adam banana bread appetizer on the menu.
Kind of, yeah, like pair that with, well, I don't even know what. Like a salmon or something, banana bread, salmon-y kind of salad.
What in God's a banana bread with
salmon,
a salad?
Salad kind of. No, that's not going to go. Probably just a side, maybe a dessert type of thing. But here's why. So, okay, I'm out right in Houston, and it's hot already and muggy. So I'm walking around, and I'm not a coffee guy, so I drink chai lattes, right? So it's because I don't like coffee. So I go to my old spot, gone. Whole Foods didn't have anything there. So then I'm like, all right, I'll go to the old standby at Starbucks, right? And walk another 100, not more than that, 200 yards, and I'm looking at I'm like, God, I got to get back for Puck. Do I have time? I'm like, I'll do it. A little double time. So I'm in my flip-flops doing a little double time, right? Sweating.
Yeah,
I get
hot
there.
as hell.
Oh, hot and muggy already. I get there. Lady says, the system's down. I'm like, what do you mean the system's down? The system's down. I go, well, reboot it. And she's like, well, it'll take like 15 minutes. I don't have 15 minutes. Puckett is on. I've got to get back. Can I just leave you? Can I leave you $6? We don't take cash.
This is my problem with these places.
Yeah, all right, I got to go. So hold on. So I'm running back, sweating. I'm like, Puck's going to be mad. Running back. Walking by the hotel coffee shop, which I never go to because they gouge you, as you know. I see Chris Negron. I'm like, Chris, hey, do you mind getting me a non-fat chai? And he's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, perfect timing. He's like, you like banana bread? I said, yeah, I love banana. He's like, this is the best banana bread in the world. I'm like, make it 2, Chris. So he's, and then I pull the old, hey, you got it? Oh, okay. Awesome.
Little alligator arms.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, maybe tomorrow. Okay, thanks, man. Yeah, so, well, he's right. It is good. But so I rebounded from that difficult experience out there. It's like, that's why you don't leave the hotel, Puck. These guys, that's why you don't leave.
You had world-renowned banana bread on the bottom of your hotel.
Yeah, what am I doing? Yeah,
I don't know. And then you're running around in the muggy
Jesus.
heat.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't live there, could you? Houston can't do it.
Not in Houston. No. Dallas, maybe. Houston, it's just a different kind. But it's kind of welcome after that weekend or the 3 days we spent in Chicago.
Yeah.
That was absolutely miserable, Puck. I don't remember weather like that, in April to start the season or March.
Did not look fun.
Oh, it's terrible. Brutal. At least they got the series win.
Kudos. They got the series win. Some big hits. Julio with a big series against the White Sox. He's starting to cook. He's been heating up for a while now. The highlight, though, of the series against Chicago was your interview with the Mariners fan.
Oh, Daniel.
That guy.
Exactly. That guy, huh?
He really just sat there the entire time in the rain delay. In the rain. Just sat there.
Rain. Just sat there with that orange slicker on. I'm like, you're not going to miss anything, bud. He's just
go up to the concourse. What was the point?
I don't know. Just he didn't think it would last that long, or I don't know. He was just enjoying the $5 beers. And
how many $5 beers did he have? Do you know?
I saw 3 around his seat when I was interviewing him. So I don't know if there was, but that was like 4th inning. So probably a few more during the rain delay.
It's a $5 beer. Good job.
And good for him. Yeah, that's what I said. Good for you.
Yeah.
If you're doing this, you're going by yourself. See your team, drink your $5 beers, and enjoy it. And then he got on TV, and he seemed to enjoy himself. So
got on TV. I mean, he feels like
Goldie.
He did get to meet him after the game.
Before he and Alex went to go talk to him before. Yeah.
He's a big because he follows both on Twitter, right? And he was a big Alex Mayer fan,
right?
And
big nerd numbers guy.
Alex is the best.
Come on,
Alex is the. For people who don't know Alex Mayer, I mean, diehard fans know he is. He's there. I mean, he works in their PR department, but he's their stats guru. for their baseball information department.
And just obscure stats that he finds that are just amazing.
Well,
like
he did
when
one.
when Casey Legamina opened for Casey Lawrence, he found that those were the only 2 Casey L's in the history of baseball, which that surprised me.
Just
I know, just dork. Like, okay, dork.
So where was the one? This is the one.
What do you got?
This was after the Raleigh home run. Cal Raleigh has 25 home runs against teams with a color in their name. 8 versus the Blue Jays, 6 versus the White Sox, 6 versus the Red Sox, and 5 versus the Reds since 2023. It's tied for the most in Major League Baseball with Aaron Judge. The AL MVP race is clearly tighter than ever. I mean, how do you find that?
I know you go. The pages he goes to are amazing, but like, how do you filter that? Home runs against teams with
how
colors.
do we know he's right?
Here's
my
point.
thing.
Who can check him? Because we can't, right? I have no idea how to do that.
I'm not going to check him. I have no idea if it's right.
A lot of my reports are based on that, Puck.
Well,
like,
you better hope he's right.
Yeah.
He's just going to start making stuff up.
Right. I kind of do that, with my reports. It's like, who's going to check me?
You do. Yeah.
Come on. Yeah.
Well, that was the highlight of that guy. The interview with him sitting in the rain, pounding beers and talking stats.
Dorking out on stats,
Yeah. Yeah, that was miserable. I tell you what, it was a closer series than it needed to be, but whatever.
Yes.
They got the series win, and now all the attention now goes to the Houston Astros, and they get the big flamethrower back. George Kirby on the mound this afternoon, huh?
Very excited about that. He is. The team is. Everybody is. It's a welcome sight back. Miller's going to throw a pen as he gets closer. An up down for the first time. Gilbert is going to face, I think, live hitters. So getting closer and closer, and Kirby back. And he obviously excited about this. He's also excited to pitch here. He loves pitching here. He likes the ballparks indoors. And he loves facing the Astros. I mean, he's got something for the Astros. So I'm excited about today. 75 to 80 pitches. So I'm hoping he gets through as efficient as he is, maybe 6. I mean, who knows? Mm-hmm. The Astros have just not hit this year. So, and they're all righty. No Alvarez, so they're all righties against George. So it matches up well, and I'm just kind of excited to see him pitch as everybody else is, and get after these Astros in Game 1.
Well, he's excited to have him back. I mean, the fact that you haven't seen him all year, they've been able to navigate this, portion of the early schedule, still have their lead, in the American League West, and do this without, one of their top pitchers. I mean, some would argue that their best pitcher on their staff, and then without Logan Gilbert for this period of time. So excited to have him back, and excited to have him back, especially against this series, because this is a team we know this. They're just, despite them not being as good as they've been, they're not going to go away.
Exactly. Right. And we saw this last year, right?
Yep.
The first couple months, they were not good at all. Then they kind of flipped the switch. But they, without a Bregman there, without a Tucker, it's a really different offense, kind of a different vibe for them. But you're right. You know what? You look back and it's like, it's still the Astros, man. It's like, you got to beat them, right? They hadn't beat them in, 7 years? They won 7 straight, I think it is. Wes, it's like, the Astros, man. So
3.5 game lead, but I'm just saying they're just there, and I don't know. They're just always have been a thorn in their side, and until you can find, you got to slay them at some point, right? It's not only I think for them mentally as an organization. It's not just winning the division. I think it's slaying this team in particular.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you got to slay that team that has owned the division. Cut them out, end them. Chop and block. Just get rid of, let's get more grotesque. Cut the head off the snake.
And they've done that at T-Mobile the last couple of years. And what really kind of flipped 2 years ago when they started to win in Houston. Remember, before it was just like, they were like 1-19 their last 20 games in Houston, leading up to, I think it was 23. And so they've been able to win in Houston. So I think you're right. The next step, now that you kind of can beat them, and they've won the season series the last couple of years, I believe. So they've proved they can beat it, but now, they need to win the division and go. But to be in first place with as many injuries as they've had is pretty amazing. They're getting contributions from guys that weren't even on the team, like Leo Rivas, right? Ben Williamson. These guys are in AAA, and now they're up here and contributing and performing. Mastroboni has gotten some knocks and plays. And so, Rowdy Tellez has played a really good first base. It's just kind of the way they've navigated, like to your point, to be in first place at this point, it's going to set them up really well, right? Because there's going to be some ups and downs. We know that during the season. But when you've got this cushion, when you've already kind of banked these wins, now Gilbert comes back and Miller comes back. And if the rotation is what we think it is, and Andres Munoz, let's just say it. He's the best closer in baseball. It's amazing what he's done. All-star last year, career high 22 saves. He's got 16 saves in May, right? They're using him smartly, just that one 4-out save. He feels better, he's fresh. It's just the way they've played and the way Dan has juggled people and, losses of guys. It's been fun to watch, and you hope it continues. And I think that they're set up now, to get better as these guys get back.
What's the word? Alvarez is still on the IL. What's the word on his return? Hand inflammation.
Yeah, I thought maybe this weekend, but I haven't heard anything about that. So hopefully not. So he's like the only. They have like one left-handed bat, I think, in the lineup now.
See, that's what worries me about Houston. Is just that he hasn't done. He's on the IL one,
but he hasn't done much. Right,
he's done nothing. And I just feel at some point that monster is going to wake up
and get everybody going.
Yeah. Just
Tuve gets going. Christian Walker hasn't done anything. Diaz hasn't done it. They just haven't done anything this year. And they've got some injuries too. They've got one of their starters just went out with Tommy John. Polanco was hurt. He can't pitch this series. Hunter Brown, their ace, went yesterday, so he's going to miss this series. So, it sets up, somewhat well for the Mariners. You got
McCullers
Kirby,
goes to 9.
Hancock.
McCullers this is his second start and for 2 years. Right, he was out for almost 2 years.
7 years. It's unbelievable. This guy. My gosh.
I can't wait till Saturday. That's going to be it's an afternoon game here, but to see Framber versus Woo is going to be phenomenal. Yeah.
Well, how good is Bryan Woo, man? Jeez. He was really good last year with the 2 fastballs, but now he's throwing the breaking balls better for strikes and really spinning it, and just like, man, he is. It's not out of the realm to say that he could be an all-star too this year.
Well, he should be. I think he's a no doubt all-star right now.
Right now, yeah, which is crazy. So it's awesome, fun to watch.
The Cal Raleigh should give all the great things we've talked about. Cal Raleigh. Okay, it's a 16th home run last night. He hits it from the right side. He's got the double from the left. He's just phenomenal. But his talk that he had last year with Bryan Woo at Fenway, that has been documented, and it's a little talked around exactly what the conversation was. But I think the point was, hey man, you need to be here every 5 days.
Right.
You need to put in the effort that every 5 days we're handing you the ball and that you're healthy to go. So whatever you need to change and do, start doing it. And from that moment on, he's been a totally different pitcher. So of all the things that Cal Raleigh has done great for this organization, one of his single biggest accomplishments is that talk with Bryan Woo. Of like, get your fucking shit in order and let's go. Because that's
probably what it was. That's probably what it was. Yeah. It's like, you can't be dinged up, your arm, your forearm, you need to this, that, you can't go. Dude, figure it out. Right. Do what these other guys do. Know your body to know how you're going to be ready to pitch every 5 days, and do what you have to do in between. And he's done that, and it's been, knock on wood, no injuries, and just the results have been just fantastic. So, everybody listens to Cal, you got to.
Why wouldn't you listen to him?
Speaking of all-stars, right?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Ugh.
What are you hearing on? I know it's still some time off, but how do they feel about Luke Raley and Robles? And I know it's a way. Raley will be first, but
there hasn't been a lot of updates. I know Raley went to Arizona he was going to go there for a week to just kind of rehab and work out.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be sooner. Robles, there's no real update on Robles. There's still, what was it, shooting around like the All-Star break for him. But, smart move to get Taveras to play right field. And
had been struggling. Had been struggling, though.
True. But, he had a double the night before and then 2 hits yesterday, including the home run. So, I mean, there's signs. And he's what you want, plus defender. Can put him down 7-8 and see if he gets hits like he did yesterday. But he's the kind of guy you want in right field until Robles comes back, right? I mean, they were rotating, with Masterboni and Dylan Moore. I mean, which did a fine job, but the infielders to outfielders just not the same as an outfielder. So that was, I think, a really good move to get Taveras back. But I would guess Raleigh, if everything goes right, I think last time I talked to him, he was thinking like a month from now, and Robles is past that, All right. But yeah, it coming, reinforcements coming, and not just the pitchers, but you forget about these guys too. So
yeah, big.
And they steal. They haven't had as many stolen base attempts and steals as they did early in the year with all these guys back. So that'll help the running game too.
Yeah. Well, and that's going to be the thing is they will be active at the deadline because they kind of always are, and we expect them to be active again. And probably I would hope they are. But then you're also going to be at that same time adding, God, and I'm going to, because they would use this at times.
They're going to do it. We talked about it.
But they will be adding those 2 players back. So it's like adding 2 players. God, I just fell in the trap. I just did what they do. But it's still, they can, go out and acquire obviously some more talent, whatever they feel like it's, they can place it at, or maybe it's going to be something there in the bullpen. So, they're in a good spot right now. I mean, won the division. No one's separated themselves. I mean, they've kind of given themselves a little bit of room. And I just look around and, the way that even they played against the Yankees back at T-Mobile, and even Detroit, there's just not
in the American League,
a team in the American League that you're just like, oh, well, but and let's take it further to the National League. I mean, they just played one of the best teams in the National League and they swept them.
Right. In San Diego.
So,
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's National League heavy for sure, but not just the West is open, but I think the American League is open. If they can get that division and get home field, I think that'd be just very different for them postseason. I think that'll make a big difference, for them, the way they can pitch there and the way they can just kind of scratch out something offensively. I think that would be huge. Yeah, just get in, Puck. Just get in.
That's all you got to do is just get in. You got to get in. Julio, the big series we kind of talked about at the top. Yeah. Good series for him. At least notching the ball out of the ballpark.
Good power numbers, yeah.
Good power numbers. But he's getting warmer and warmer and warmer, and hopefully, he still hasn't reached his peak Julio yet, but we feel it's coming. Hopefully.
Yeah, and remember, I think he had 2 home runs at this point last year, and he has 9. So that's obviously a big upgrade. The average still isn't there, but hitting the ball hard. We don't
care about average anymore.
Hitting it harder. We don't care about average. Yeah, it's all about the exit velocity. Yeah, talk to Daniel on the stands. He'll tell you that, right?
Yeah, exit velocity.
But the strikeouts are way down. He's more aggressive early in counts, and I think that's helped him. So you're right. I mean, you can see kind of flashes of it. If he can put something together, like for a season, I mean, those numbers would be unbelievable.
Right.
If he could do that, because we've seen him do it for a month. I'd love to see him do it, for a year and reach that status, the superstar status that, that Seattle wants him to be and he wants to be at too.
Because you get him the way that they're playing. If you get him now starting to get into a groove, all of a sudden, they just become a more dangerous baseball team. Obviously, thanks Tips for bringing that up.
Yeah,
I didn't know that they'd be a more dangerous team with him playing well.
But you're right. They got to pitch to him because Cal's behind you, right? So you're not going to dance around Julio and get to Cal, right? So you're right. It's like pick your poison type thing, righty, lefty. With Cal being a switch hitter, it's it's a really good spot in the lineup for those guys. Polanco's cooled off, but nice to see him and JP keep getting on. And the top 4, it's really been productive this year for these guys.
Can you find out with Polanco, did he re-aggravate it from the right side? Because the last time he did it, because I had Alex, I was like, hey, Alex, when was the last time he took a swing from the right side? It was May 10th. Because I remember that. Because the other day when they pitch hit for him, I'm like, I thought we're over that by now. Because I remember he swung
the
from
same thing. Yeah, we thought the same thing, and Dan said it just.
So did he screw it up again?
A little bit. I guess. They're very cautious with any injury type of news and stuff, but
they don't like that. Very hockey-like.
Very hockey-like, yeah, because they don't want other team to know that they can bring in a lefty and get him out of the game.
I get it.
So I'm confused. Yeah, hey, I'll certainly find out, Puck. But yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise. Also surprised yesterday they let Tellez hit against a lefty.
Yeah,
he struck out, but then he was in ninth inning. White Sox have to bring in a righty. He gets a single or eighth inning to start that rally. So that worked out well. Yeah,
it's been a good pickup there. As Rowdy Tellez been a nice little underrated pickup there for him.
Yes, good at first base.
Yeah, very good first base. Hey, I want to check in on this one because I do want to talk about what has happened in the last 48 hours. Have you talked to Ryan Rowland-Smith? How's he doing? How's he reacted to all the? I mean, I'm just telling you, it is a shitstorm back here in Seattle. Oh yeah, it's obviously with the comments made on my former station about him. I don't know if you've talked to him, how he's reacted to it, how he feels. I mean, listen, we get criticized a lot in this business, and it's whatever. It's fair. It's fair game, especially if you're on TV, radio, this platform. Doesn't matter what it is. People are going to have opinions if they like you or not, and that's fair. It's just like, what's the line, though?
Right.
What's the line, and how far do you want to cross that line to criticize someone? So and I know he's in his first year of doing this kind of full-time role like this. I mean, he's done it before.
Right.
But, that can sting you a little bit when you're kind of new in the business.
Yeah. And that's what you risk when you try to, make a name for yourself or when you try to, move the needle or get clicks and likes. When you say something like that, it'll come back to get you. And I think that's going to come back to get him, We talked to Ryan, and we all, we were all surprised when we heard it. He was surprised too. His first reaction was, "Who is this guy?" And I'm like, "The new guy on KJR." So he didn't know who he was, and he said he wasn't. I mean, Ryan's fine with it. It's just, unfortunate, because as you know, this Puck, you've been in Seattle media a long time. Like, we're all pretty good friends as far as helping each other out and just kind of, it's really good camaraderie. It's not like a cutthroat New York, Philly, Boston where I'm trying to get a story and I don't want you to get it and this, that. We work together, and to see somebody attack another guy, it's just it's a little disappointing. I'm not sure the whole context, or I don't know what, whatever, if he's trying to just be funny or something, but it just, you don't need to do that. There's no place for that. Like you said, fans do that enough without, us having to do that to each other, So we're just surprised that, it'll probably blow over and Ryan's not worried about it. And, whatever happens, if the Mariners do make a stance or do something against, him or his show, who knows? We'll wait to see. But it's just kind of unfortunate to hear. That's all.
I don't mean to direct for you guys, but if I may,
do. Please.
I would today, if I were you and everyone over there associated with the Mariners broadcast.
I can't wait for this. All right.
As long as you can, maybe just do it for the first inning. Everyone do an Australian accent.
Solidarity. I like that. And it's too funny. It's like,
can Goldsmith do it?
Yes, and it sounds terrible. It sounds
that's
more
the idea.
Cockney, British than Australian. Yeah.
Okay. Now
it's funny. And then Ryan does his American.
Brad, let's go down the first base side. Brad Adams standing by with a report on Rowdy Tellez. Brad,
that's pretty good right there. And then
you got to give me your Australian accent. Let's hear
it. Well, you should hear Ryan's American accent. That's the funny one.
Well, okay, now you stop stalling on the Australian accent. Just put yourself out there. We're naked and afraid, just like the show.
I want to get there because I'm still.
Tell me, I really in an Australian accent. I really enjoyed my banana bread muffin.
That banana bread. Actually,
That's
pretty
not
darn
bad,
good.
though. I
It's not
mean,
bad.
you gave me a little bit, but that's not bad. That's what I think you should do. I would assume Ryan's on the call for today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I would.
Buhner. We got Buhner for the 4 games.
Now have Buhner do it too.
There you go.
Have Buhner do Australian accent with a Texas twang.
Texas twang, yeah. But now I'm laughing too about this whole Australian accent thing. Like, how many guys would want to have that accent? Like when you go to like a bar? Yeah,
me.
Exactly.
I want.
You're gonna make fun of that accent? Like we want that.
I want that. I also I would take the Queen's tongue because I love how the Brits talk.
Yep, not bad.
And there's nothing to me, this is me personally, sexier than a British woman.
Ooh.
And when she talks.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Every time. It just gets
How
me
about
every time.
put that British accent woman on a golf course? Oh, that gets me. You know?
Lexi Hall is where you're getting at.
Oh.
All right. I mean, that's why she's my favorite golfer. All right. So you know what? If you don't do the Australian accent today, I would do it. I think it's funny.
Run it by.
Do me a favor.
Funny.
I don't know him that well. I know him a little bit. Goldsmith. I don't know him that well.
Oh, Goldie. Okay.
But run it by him.
That'd be kind of funny.
Run it by him and see what he thinks. Say, Puck has this idea. Go with it in the first inning. See what happens. I'm telling you, I think Brad would get a kick out of it. And then I'm going to take it one step further. Okay. Have him open up the show, the broadcasting in the Australian accent.
Right.
Have Ryan attempt his English accent.
Right. He gets really high. He gets high like this.
Yeah. Have him do it. And I'm just telling you, people would eat it up.
They like that.
It'd be funny, and you kind of diffuse what has been kind of an ugly situation here in the last couple of days. No. Okay. The banana bread, good.
It is really good.
It is. Banana bread is good.
Zucchini bread a little bit. Zucchini I like too.
I love it all. How come zucchini bread is good? Like how do you take a zucchini and turn it into bread?
Sugar and butter, and it's all good, dude.
So if I did that with an asparagus, would it be the same? Just sugar and butter? Because zucchini really doesn't have a flavor. Is that the point?
Yeah, it's just, I guess.
Just zucchini.
You feel healthy eting it.
I know, but every time, I'm plant the garden outside now. We got to plant some zucchini. Why?
Yeah.
I don't eat it. We're going to make bread.
It's easier to grow. Make bread.
It's easy to grow.
My girls are doing the garden again this year, Puck. Every year they do the garden. And guess what? It lasts about maybe a week, and then it dies.
Yeah, well.
I'm like, let's do it again this year. Yeah, sure. We're doing it this year, Dad. Great. Go get the seeds and plant. Great.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your time there in sweaty Houston, the banana bread, and have fun tonight on the broadcast. I can't wait to see George Kirby. I'm telling you. Welcome. Hello, I can do goes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Minute Maid Park. My name's Ann Goldsmith. See, that's British.
With Ryan Rowland-Smith.
Along with Ryan Rowland-Smith.
British, yeah.
It's hard. You kind of go, it's back and forth. Just do me a favor.
Which is fine. I'm going to ask. That's fine.
Just run it by him.
I will.
I'm telling you, I think I've landed on a gold mine idea. I'm a big idea guy.
You got a lot of them, Puck.
Kevin Martinez says I have too many.
You're an idea guy. Like night shift. You're an idea guy.
Yeah. All right.
Feed the tuna. Feed the mayonnaise to the tuna. Anyway.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a way to end it.
Thanks.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, bud.
There is our weekly with Brad Adam from Root Sports. Man eating a banana bread, covering the Mariners in his Houston, Texas hotel room. I think it's a great idea for Root. If I was Aaron Goldsmith and Ryan Rowland-Smith to kind of just play, make fun of the whole situation. Hey, come on, tell me that wouldn't be funny. If you hear Aaron Goldsmith come on talking like Ryan Rowland-Smith, and all of a sudden Ryan Rowland-Smith's got an American accent going on. I'm telling you, it'd be funny. It would be hilarious. Sweet. All right, let's sign off here. A lengthy one here with Hey, What the Puck, which, of course, is always brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. Your restoration company lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when those damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, North Seattle franchise. We mentioned this with Brad earlier. And again, I know this is not the same Houston Astros team. No Bregman, obviously with the situations they've gone through and the changes with their personnel on their team. Altuve playing a new position. Yordan Alvarez, certainly not the same player. They have taken a step back talent-wise, but I still do think that they're very much a threat because they have that winning pedigree, that winning DNA. And I think for the Mariners, who are playing very good baseball right now, 8 games over 500, 3.5 game lead on the Astros right now. Send a message here the next 4 days, and then for the rest of the season, send a message. Because in order to, I'm a big believer in just climbing the mountain, slaying the dragon, and the mountain for a decade has been the Houston Astros. And I think for the Mariners to get to where they want to be, which is obviously the World Series, but before that, you got to get the ALCS, you got to win the division, and you got to beat them. I think from a mental standpoint, they know they can beat them. They know they can play with them. They were there a few years ago in the playoffs, but they've got to slay the Astros, and they've got to put them out of their misery. So I still think, despite the losses, despite the changes on the team, the not as great of talent anymore, that's still the bully on the block are the Houston Astros. Send a message here in the next 4 days and start it tonight with George Kirby on the mound. All right, that's Hey What the Puck, and again, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. They let you avoid the stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services. They do A-plus work. Use them today. Give them a call, 206-817-8917. Visit them online, restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Hey, thank you for everyone watching and listening today. Thank you to all our sponsors, Limback Lumber, John Howie Steak, Zogs on Fox Island, Hartley and Hartley Insurance, of course, Georgetown Brewery, and as always, a Restoration One North Seattle franchise. Also, you can watch, if you missed the show, the Daily Puck Drop up on YouTube. Please, when you're there, like, subscribe, leave a comment on every video. Try to get to as many as we possibly can. On the podcast platforms, Daily Puck Drop is available on your favorite podcast platforms. Right around noon. It'll be a little bit later today. Also, check out pucksports.com. When you're at pucksports.com, sign up to be a member of the Pucks Posse. Great, just $5 a month. Gets you access to obviously all the free content we do, but also the VIP and exclusive shows as well, like our weekly with MLB insider Ryan Divish, the new Sports Pit with Sandmeyer and Stretch that comes out on Mondays, Mitchy the Kid, Mitch Unfiltered Thursday visits, and now, of course, producing the Garage with Gas Take 5 podcast. That comes out on Mondays as well. Check it out on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Just search Garage with Gas Take 5. Find them up at pucksports.com. All right. We'll see you in a few days. All right. Everybody be safe this Memorial Day. No show Friday, no show Monday, no show Tuesday. We'll talk to you again on a Wednesday. Enjoy Memorial Day. Spend it with family and friends. Have a great few days off, and we'll see you on Wednesday. As always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no dice.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!